How's it going, guys? In this video, I want to talk about the three forms of cash flow, one of which is, in my opinion, a permanent form of cash flow. So my friend comes up to me, man, this must be about a week ago. He comes up to me and he's like, hey, I have I've hit the jackpot. He put $4,000 into a specific crypto. We're not talking Dogecoin here. 4,000 bucks. And it went up and it appreciated to $300,000. And the minute he told me this, I stopped everything I was doing and I called him up and I said, "Hey, man, I love you like a brother, but let's talk about different forms of cash flow because that's not sustainable. That's not going to last." And um, I was like, dude, sell 200K right now. Like $300,000, just so everyone knows, $300,000 is like a life-changing amount of money. With 300 grand, you can buy like 6 homes. Um, you can buy like $1.5 million worth of leverage. If you go to the Midwest, you can buy like 10 homes, 8 homes, cash. And that is a permanent asset. And so that's kind of what I want to talk about today. Um, with that said, let's talk about some different forms of cash flow. In my opinion, how I take it, and from my school of thought here. So, um, he bought he bought an appreciation level coin, and it's not Bitcoin, it's not Doge, and it went from 4,000 to 300,000. And the long story, the short version of the story is he ended up not being able to sell. Selling crypto is a little bit complicated, I guess. I'm not much of a crypto guy, and I buy a little bit of Bitcoin and Ethereum, but besides that, I don't buy a lot of crypto stuff. So obviously, I can't relate to him there. But it was difficult for him to sell, and by the time he's like, "Oh, I'll sell 100K tomorrow," and I said, "No, sell 200K right now," and he regardless the value went down like 60%. Still in a great position, but not a life-changing amount of money at this point. So um, capital appreciation doesn't last forever, in my opinion. The value of something goes up, it goes down. Long term, it will go up. And that's, if you buy a house, everyone within 10, if you hold a house for 10 years, everyone that holds a house for 10 years will make money. I think that's almost a promise. Same thing with stocks. I think stocks, I can't talk to the crypto much, but stocks and real estate, they go up forever with time. But if you're going to buy it now and sell, in 2 years, or my friend's case, within 24 hours, I'm going to sell it. It's going to keep going up, and it drops dramatically. This is not a permanent form of cash flow. This is something you can bank on long term, but not short term. Business income. I'm an entrepreneur, and I believe that entrepreneurship is a roller coaster, and anyone who's ever been an entrepreneur has seen the ups and downs of business. And you know, um, here's an example. A business owner made $350,000 in 2020 and expects it to go up or stay the same in 2021. And I've just seen it time and time again where revenue can get cut in half super easy. There's a lot of different catalysts. So for me, this is not a permanent source of income. This is not something that I say will last forever, and you shouldn't bank on it. And in the fire community, anyone who wants to retire early, for example, that they're not, there's the only way that most people retire, and a lot of people, and there's a little bit of debate over this, some people bank on some appreciation, capital appreciation, but you know um we talk about things like this, like permanent cash flow. Now, this is my experience, so I'm going to share my experience here. In Utah, where I live, I've never had a vacancy in over 10 years. It's been 11 years now at this point. And so whenever I get cash flow, that cash flow stays the same or goes up. For example, in the last 18 months, all of my units have dropped. I am under rented in all of my units, and so I have about $300 more I need to add when my tenants move out, and that's like permanent. That's guaranteed. So I think rental rates go up. You know, in 2007, 2008, when that last crash happened, um, rental rates did not go down. So in my lifetime, rental rates have not gone down. I think things are going to become more and more unaffordable to people, and that rent is only going to get stronger. So, in my opinion, real estate does well. Buying a dividend aristocrat, a dividend king, you know, these are companies that have paid out the same and more dividends up to 50 consecutive years. So, a dividend king is a company who has paid out 50 consecutive years and raised their dividend. Same thing with aristocrats. It's kind of a coveted position out of thousands of companies on the stock exchanges. I think there's only like 60, 65, and I'll pull up a list here in a little bit of dividend aristocrats. And so AT&T is one of my favorite. You know, dividend companies, they're not exciting, and tech companies, you know, they don't skyrocket and grow the capital appreciation side, but the cash flow is super reliable. Now I will also buy non-dividend aristocrats, dividend kings, because they may have a better yield, or I believe more in the company. Like Disney. Disney is not a dividend aristocrat. In fact, in 2020, they cut their dividend, and that disqualifies them from becoming that aristocrat. And so, love that company. I think Disney's here to stay, and it's gonna grow dramatically. But they haven't reinstated their dividend yet. I still hold much of my position there. So, in the world that I live in, if I was going to retire tomorrow and say I want permanent income, these are the only two sources that I have found in my life that are the most reliable. You know, AT&T, I'll get my quarterly dividend, and I can bank on it. I get 550 every quarter, and I'm thrilled with that. You know, it's $2,000 a year. Doesn't sound like a lot, but I think I only have $25,000 invested into AT&T. And so, you know, I get $2,000 a year for the rest of my life. That is the most important thing I can say. Real estate, I get $3,500 a month for the rest of my life. Like that's just stupid. And so, I guess what I'm encouraging in this video is that you should consider to buy a mix of different things. When people talk about diversification, I usually diversify by having lots of houses. I don't have one house or two houses, but I'm trying to build a portfolio of 10, 12 units, you know, and I'm hoping at the end of this year, I'll have 12 units, you know what I mean? And that's permanent for the rest of my life. And so, you know, I like to, you know, have that little mindset, that mind switch of this is money for the rest of my life. And if I make this purchase, and if I buy more AT&T stock today, I'm making another $50 a month for the rest of my life. And if you have that mindset, that truly is permanent. Let just for kicks and giggles here. Here's a list of see here. This is Dividend Aristocrats, you know, and you can just Google Dividend Aristocrats, and it'll give you a list. I mean, look at all these companies here. Target, you know, Aflac. Okay, here's AT&T, one of my favorite. They've been paying out 35 for 35 consecutive years. So they kind of just put them in order. Dividend Kings, there's only 27 stocks that are Dividend Kings. And these ones, this is the most coveted position. They're never going to not pay their dividend. It's never going to go down, in my opinion. No one wants to lose this status. So research some of these companies and build permanent cash flow. That's the moral of the story. And with that said, guys, let's please like, subscribe, and thank you for watching my video.